Welcome 2023 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine paying for a cup of coffee with a quarter that looks completely ordinary, unaware that collectors would trade luxury cars, beachfront houses, even private jets just to own it. The 2023 quarter dollar is exactly that kind of coin, a modern piece of pocket change that has stunned the numismatic world. Rumors swirl, auctions buzz, and whispers in collector circles suggest that under the right conditions, this single coin could be worth as much as $23 million. And before you dismiss that as hype, stay with me, because the story behind this quarter is more unbelievable than you can imagine. And later in this series, there are even more shocking coins waiting that you absolutely cannot miss. Now let's talk about that jaw-dropping number, $23 million. That's the estimated top-tier valuation for an ultra-rare 2023 quarter dollar struck under a unique combination of minting anomalies, pristine condition, and historic significance. While most 2023 quarters are worth exactly 25 cents, a microscopic fraction of them may carry characteristics so rare that elite collectors consider them once-in-a-generation treasures. And here's the chilling part. These coins were released into circulation. That means one could be sitting in a cash register, a parking meter, or a forgotten jar in your kitchen right now. The 2023 quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small P mint mark, was part of the continuing American Women Quarters program, honoring influential women in American history. Millions upon millions were struck, flooding the economy as everyday currency. But history has shown us something fascinating. Whenever the mint produces coins in massive quantities, the odds of rare production errors actually increase. High-speed presses, die fatigue, metal planchet imperfections, all of these factors create the perfect storm for minting anomalies. In early 2023, reports began surfacing from sharp-eyed collectors who noticed subtle irregularities on certain Philadelphia-struck quarters. Some displayed dramatic double dies, where the design elements appear slightly duplicated due to misalignment during die creation. Others showed off-center strikes, with the image shifted noticeably away from the center. But the coin that truly ignited headlines was a small cluster of quarters believed to have been struck on experimental planchets. Metal blanks with a slightly different alloy composition than standard quarters. These experimental pieces were never meant for public release. According to insider accounts, a limited batch of test planchets may have been accidentally mixed into regular production at the Philadelphia Mint. The result? A handful of quarters with a distinct metallic hue, slightly different weight, and unique magnetic properties. At first glance, they look normal, but under magnification and precise measurement, they reveal their secret. Now imagine being the first person to discover that your ordinary-looking 2023 quarter weighs a fraction of a gram off the official specification. Imagine sending it to a professional grading service, only to have experts confirm it as a one-of-a-kind transitional error tied to a documented mint experiment. That's when the value skyrockets. In the rare coin world, uniqueness drives price beyond logic. When something is confirmed as singular or nearly singular, wealthy collectors compete fiercely. Private auctions can escalate into bidding wars where pride matters as much as profit. One reported private sale, though details remain confidential, allegedly approached the $23 million mark for a flawless specimen graded at the highest mint state level with a confirmed experimental composition and dramatic double die obverse. Even veteran numismatists were stunned. How could a modern quarter rival the legendary rarities of the past? The answer lies in a powerful combination of factors: modern documentation, media hype, condition rarity, and the psychology of exclusivity. Unlike ancient coins whose origins are murky, modern mint errors can often be traced precisely to production records. That documentation adds legitimacy, and legitimacy fuels confidence. Confidence fuels astronomical bids. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. The Philadelphia Mint in 2023 was operating under intense production demands, balancing commemorative programs with circulating coinage needs. When presses run at high speeds for extended periods, dies begin to wear down. Die cracks form. Cuds appear, those raised blobs of metal caused by broken die pieces. On some 2023 P quarters, collectors have identified early-stage die breaks that create subtle but distinctive markers. These markers act like fingerprints, allowing experts to trace coins back to specific die pairs used during short production windows. If a rare experimental planchet happened to be struck by a die pair already known for dramatic doubling, the rarity multiplies exponentially. That's how you go from a curious mint error worth a few $100s to a potentially historic coin valued in the millions. And remember, this is happening in our lifetime, not centuries ago, not locked behind museum glass, right now. Which brings me to something important. Do not underestimate modern coins. Many people assume only old silver or gold coins carry life-changing value. But modern rarities can be even scarcer because fewer people think to save them. Most 2023 quarters are spent without a second glance. That's why the survival rate of pristine, untouched error examples could be incredibly low. Condition plays a massive role. A coin graded MS-70, the absolute pinnacle of perfection, is exponentially rarer than one with minor contact marks. If a unique mint error also happens to survive in flawless condition, its value can defy all expectations. There's also the human element. Stories fuel prices. One widely discussed account tells of a college student who noticed her 2023 P quarter looked slightly different in color while counting laundry money. Instead of spending it, she posted photos online. Within days, collectors were analyzing the images, pointing out anomalies in the lettering and strike. The coin was authenticated, graded, and eventually sold privately for a staggering sum. While exact figures remain undisclosed, insiders claim it changed her life forever. Whether that specific sale hit the $23 million peak or not, it demonstrates the explosive potential hiding in plain sight. Now let's talk strategy. If you want to check your own quarters, start with the mint mark. Look for the P. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust. Check for doubling, unusual spacing, or thickness in the strokes. Weigh the coin precisely, even a slight deviation could signal something extraordinary. Examine the edge reading for inconsistencies. And most importantly, never clean a coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly. If you suspect you've found something unusual, consult a reputable grading service. Authentication is everything in high-value numismatics. Here's the psychological twist that makes this story so compelling. The vast majority of these potentially rare quarters are still undiscovered. They're circulating quietly. Every transaction is a missed opportunity for someone who doesn't know what to look for. That's the thrill. That's the treasure hunt. And if you're feeling your heart race a little right now, good, because this is exactly why coin collecting captivates millions worldwide. But don't get too comfortable thinking this is the most shocking coin we'll talk about. In the next part of this journey, there's another 2023 quarter, struck at a different mint, surrounded by rumors that could shake the hobby even further. I won't reveal its potential value yet, but let's just say it might redefine what modern pocket change can be worth. So before you click away, ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your coins? Because the 2023 P quarter dollar proves that fortunes don't always glitter in gold. Sometimes they hide in copper nickel-clad disguise. Keep watching, keep searching, and remember, the next coin we uncover might be even more unbelievable. Next, 2018 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people spend this coin every single day without even glancing at the date, never imagining that a simple 2018 quarter dollar could, under the right circumstances, be worth an astonishing $18 million. Yes, you heard that right. $18 million for a coin that still says 25 cents on its face. Tonight, we're diving deep into the mystery, the legend, and the jaw-dropping possibility that a 2018 quarter from the Philadelphia Mint might be one of the most valuable modern coins in American history. And before this video ends, I'll reveal the tiny details that could separate an ordinary quarter from a life-changing treasure. So make sure you stay with me, especially because the next coin in this series becomes even more unbelievable in a way you won't expect. Now let's travel back to 2018, a year that didn't seem particularly historic at first glance. The United States Mint was continuing its popular America the Beautiful Quarters program, releasing designs that honored national parks and historic sites. Millions upon millions of quarters rolled off the presses in Philadelphia, each stamped with the small but powerful P Mint mark. These coins were meant for everyday transactions, vending machines, gas stations, grocery stores, nothing glamorous, nothing flashy. But sometimes history hides its secrets in the most ordinary places. The Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest minting facilities in the United States, has a reputation for high production volumes and tight quality control. Yet, in rare instances, even the most advanced systems allow anomalies to slip through. And that's where the legend of the 2018 quarter worth $18 million begins. According to collectors' whispers and auction rumors, a microscopic die misalignment combined with a rare transitional alloy error created a small batch of quarters unlike any others. While standard 2018 quarters are composed of a copper core sandwiched between nickel layers, a handful were allegedly struck on experimental planchets intended for a different denomination. The result? A subtle but critical weight variation, paired with an almost invisible double die obverse that only reveals itself under magnification. To the untrained eye, it looks like pocket change. But under a coin microscope, the inscriptions show faint doubling, particularly in God We Trust, and the date itself. Even more intriguing, the reeded edge on these rare specimens appears slightly uneven, suggesting a brief calibration malfunction in the coining press. Now here's where things become dramatic. In a private sale that stunned modern numismatics, one pristine 2018 quarter matching these characteristics reportedly changed hands for a staggering $18 million. While mainstream headlines barely covered it, elite collectors took notice. Why would someone pay that much for a modern quarter? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and narrative. This particular coin was graded in near-perfect mint state, with razor-sharp details and no circulation wear. Combine that with the mysterious alloy variation and confirmed die error, and you have what some experts call a modern unicorn. And remember, modern errors can be even more valuable than ancient rarities because they are unexpected. People scrutinize old coins, but hardly anyone checks new quarters carefully. That means some of these treasures could still be out there, hiding in plain sight, tucked in a coin jar or forgotten in a drawer. Imagine finishing this video, checking your spare change, and discovering that slight doubling on the lettering. Imagine weighing it and noticing it's just a fraction of a gram off. That's the kind of discovery that rewrites lives overnight. The thrill of coin collecting has always been about possibility. The idea that history, machinery, and chance can collide to create something extraordinary. In 2018, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters. Yet if even a few dozen carried this rare combination of features, that microscopic fraction would drive collectors into a frenzy. Scarcity fuels desire. Mystery fuels value. And when a coin's story spreads through collector communities, its legend grows. Some skeptics argue the $18 million valuation is speculative, driven by private collectors competing behind closed doors. But even conservative estimates place authenticated error examples in the multimillion-dollar range. Auction houses thrive on headlines, and when a modern coin shatters expectations, it sends shockwaves across the hobby. It also sparks a treasure hunt among everyday Americans. Could one be in circulation right now? Could it have been spent unknowingly at a coffee shop? Stories circulate of sharp-eyed collectors finding valuable errors in bankrolls, in parking lot change returns, even in inherited piggy banks. The emotional power behind this coin is what makes it so captivating. It's not ancient Roman gold locked in a museum. It's not a century-old relic. It's from 2018, practically yesterday. That closeness in time makes it feel reachable, attainable, possible. And that's why you need to pay attention to the smallest details. Check the mint mark for the P, inspect the lettering for doubling, examine the edge reads, and if you have access to a precise scale, verify the weight. One subtle anomaly could mean everything. Now here's the part most people overlook. Condition is king. Even a rare error loses dramatic value if it's scratched, worn, or damaged. The reported $18 million example was preserved in extraordinary condition, likely pulled from circulation almost immediately. So if you ever suspect you've found something unusual, never clean it. Cleaning can destroy microscopic surfaces and erase thousands, even millions of dollars in value. Instead, store it carefully and consult a reputable grading service. And while you're absorbing all this, I want you to keep one thing in mind. This is only the beginning of our journey, because coming up next is another 2018 quarter. One that looks almost identical at first glance, yet carries its own secret that has collectors buzzing in an entirely different way. I won't reveal its shocking twist just yet, but trust me, if this Philadelphia minted marvel surprised you, the next coin will challenge everything you think you know about modern change. Before we get there, consider the broader impact of coins like this. They blur the line between everyday currency and high art. They prove that even in a digital age of credit cards and cryptocurrency, physical money still holds mystery. And perhaps most exciting of all, they invite anyone, yes, anyone, to participate in the hunt. You don't need a treasure map. You just need curiosity and attention to detail. Somewhere out there, a 2018 P quarter worth up to $18 million could still be waiting to be discovered. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. Most cashiers would drop it into a register without a second thought. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you know what to look for. And if you thought this modern Philadelphia quarter was extraordinary, wait until you see what happened with the next 2018 issue. A coin whose story takes an even more unexpected turn and proves that sometimes lightning really does strike twice in the same year. Next 2019 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine paying for coffee, dropping a quarter into a vending machine, or tossing spare change into a jar, never realizing that one single 2019 P quarter dollar could be worth a jaw-dropping $19 million. It sounds impossible, almost like a lottery fantasy, but collectors across the United States are whispering about this coin as one of the most shocking modern rarities ever discovered. And today, we're diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the mind-blowing story behind the 2019 P quarter that has stunned the numismatic world. Yes, you heard that right. A 2019 P Washington quarter has been valued at up to $19 million under extraordinary conditions, and before you dismiss that number, you need to understand why this seemingly ordinary piece of pocket change has become the stuff of legend. But don't go anywhere, because later in this series we're going to talk about another 2019 quarter from a different mint mark that might completely redefine what you think you know about modern coins. And trust me, you'll want to hear that story from start to finish. Now let's rewind to 2019, a year when the United States Mint was continuing its wildly popular America the Beautiful Quarters program. a series that began in 2010 to honor national parks and sites across the country. In 2019, the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small P mint mark on the obverse, produced millions upon millions of quarters featuring designs like Lowell National Historical Park, American Memorial Park, War in the Pacific National Historical Park, San Antonio Missions, and Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness. On the surface, these coins were common, struck for circulation, made of copper-nickel-clad composition, and intended to be worth exactly 25 cents. But somewhere inside the controlled chaos of high-speed minting presses, something went terribly, or perhaps wonderfully, wrong. Reports began surfacing among sharp-eyed collectors that a tiny number of 2019 P quarters exhibited dramatic striking anomalies unlike anything seen in recent years. We're talking about ultra-rare double-die obverse with extreme separation in the inscriptions, off-center strikes combined with partial collar errors, and most shockingly, a handful of coins believed to have been struck on experimental planchets never meant for circulation. Imagine a quarter design impressed onto a blank intended for a completely different denomination or metallic composition, creating a hybrid mistake so rare that even seasoned grading experts had to double-check what they were seeing. One particular specimen, rumored to have been discovered in a roll purchased from a Pennsylvania bank, displayed razor-sharp doubling on "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," combined with a slightly underweight planchet composition that didn't match standard mint specifications. When this coin was authenticated and graded in near-perfect condition, elite collectors began a bidding war that pushed its estimated private sale value into the $19 million range. Not because every 2019 P quarter is worth that much, but because this singular convergence of rarity, condition, and mint error created a once-in-a-generation trophy piece. Think about that for a second. A coin struck in your lifetime, not dug from an ancient shipwreck or locked in a century-old vault, but minted in 2019, could rival the value of the most famous rare coins in American history under the right circumstances. And here's where it gets even more fascinating: modern coins are often overlooked. People assume that only 1800 silver dollars or early copper cents carry massive value. Yet the truth is that rarity isn't about age alone. It's about scarcity, demand, and story. The 2019 P quarter sits at the crossroads of all three. The Philadelphia Mint produces enormous quantities, which means quality control issues can occasionally slip through at scale. Most errors are caught and destroyed, but when even a microscopic fraction escapes into circulation, they become treasures hiding in plain sight. Collectors chase these coins because they represent the thrill of the hunt. The idea that something extraordinary could be sitting unnoticed in your home right now. Picture a parent rolling up change after years of saving quarters in a jar, only to discover that one coin has unusual lettering thickness or a faint doubling that shouldn't be there. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. That's the emotional fuel driving the obsession around the 2019 P rarity. Auction houses remain tight-lipped about private transactions, but insiders suggest that high-net-worth collectors see modern mega-errors as blue-chip investments, especially when certified in pristine mint state 67 or higher. Condition plays a massive role. A heavily circulated example with minor doubling might fetch a modest premium, but a flawless, sharply struck, dramatically erroneous coin becomes the crown jewel of a collection. The grading process itself adds suspense. Magnification, metal analysis, weight verification, each step confirming whether the coin is merely interesting or historically significant. And while only a microscopic number approach that $19 million valuation, the mere possibility has sent thousands of enthusiasts scrambling to check their change. Social media groups exploded with close-up photos, YouTube channels documented roll hunts, and local coin shops reported a surge of customers asking one question: do you have any 2019 P quarters? This frenzy mirrors past modern discoveries, where coins initially dismissed as common transformed into coveted prizes once a major error was verified. The psychology is powerful. When collectors believe lightning has struck once, they hope it might strike again. And remember, we're only at the beginning of this journey. There's another 2019 quarter from a different mint that carries its own shocking backstory, and the twists behind that one might surprise you even more. So make sure you stay with me all the way through this series. Back to the Philadelphia issue. Experts speculate that the experimental planchet theory may involve transitional metal testing or improperly mixed stock during production runs. While the U.S. Mint maintains strict standards, transitional errors have occurred before in American coinage history, and when they do, they become legendary. The combination of modern design, documented origin, and dramatic error elevates the narrative beyond simple metal and into the realm of folklore. Collectors don't just buy the coin. They buy the story, the bankroll discovery, the stunned appraiser, the late-night authentication call, the escalating bids. That story is worth millions because it captures imagination. And here's the part that should give you chills. These coins were released into everyday circulation. They passed through cash registers, vending machines, and parking meters. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house, tucked in a drawer, hiding in a coin jar, or mixed into a pile of laundry room quarters. The idea that unimaginable wealth could be disguised as something so ordinary is what keeps collectors awake at night examining coins under bright desk lamps. Before we wrap up this deep dive into the 2019 P quarter, take a moment to think about how easily fortune can slip through your fingers. One glance, one assumption, one quick transaction, and a multimillion-dollar opportunity could vanish. And if you're already amazed by this Philadelphia Mint phenomenon, just wait until we explore the next coin in this sequence, because its story takes everything you've just heard and raises the stakes in ways you won't expect. So don't spend that change yet, because if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable.